sure you're on our list
No maps.
of
No maps.
bureau chiefs. I'll have one made up. And
I think we should get a globe.
a globe.
One of the flat Earth globes, though.
Is there any other kind? I mean, I've never understood why they called it a globe when it's clearly just a big flat plateau. Ken listens to the show in Pittsburgh. That's a city in Pennsylvania. Julie's in Rockingham, North Carolina. Doug is in Dundalk, Maryland. Andrew is in Orlando, Florida. Deanna listens in Birmingham, Michigan. Brittany's in Austin, Texas. And Brad is in Yukon, Oklahoma. We've got a message on the iHeartRadio app. You can always leave little talkback messages there, too.
Hello, WMMS. I'm looking to get a hold of a one Corey Roddick. I hear that he's in possession of a certain map with pins on it, some memorabilia from the old studio. I'm poised to offer him a full 1 month's salary for possession of this. I assume that's going to be around $50 or $60. So if you just want to get back to me, that'd be great. Thanks. Bye.
Son of a bitch. I see what they're doing there, but nobody knows what I'm doing. See, I put him up to that guy.
Ooh, to see if Corey
And
actually has
now we'll
it.
see who falls into my trap.
Dangle
we'll
that
see.
sweet $50 in his
Oh,
face.
I'll tell you what.
See what happens.
You flash a grant in a guy's direction, things change. Toot sweet.
You know what I like about Alan? His tough talk.
Toot sweet.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to avoid a Donnybrook with yours truly, I don't want to. If you're not down for a kerfuffle. Yeah. Alan, it's so weird. I tried to find you guys on YouTube. It's not that hard. People go, I can't find things. You just put it in Google. It'll come right up.
Go to AlanCoxShow.com or
Alan
search
Cox Show.
The Alan Cox Show.
.com. I knew you looked like from years ago at a Browns game, but my surprise at seeing Mary and Bill. That's another interesting thing, too. You know, this show has been on the air in Cleveland for a dozen years. And people who are still coming, it's one thing if you're coming new to the show from the jump. It's another thing if you've listened for a long time, but have never
been to the website or seen a
something,
video.
Yeah, never.
Like we post clips on our Instagrams all the time.
I know people have lives to lead.
Yeah. But you know, but welcome to the YouTube. I hope you found it. This is what we look like. I'm sorry.
Mary and Bill look totally different than what I imagined. They are nothing bad. They are both great looking, is what this person says. Now, I don't know if this is a guy or a girl. But obviously this goes, huh?
Ask Bill if he got that.
No, I got it.
How Bill plays to the camera.
Yeah.
I just played to the
Oh,
camera.
he did? Oh,
Pretty
you
good.
did? Oh, okay.
Are you going to start playing the camera now finally?
Should I do it again?
Yeah.
Well, there you look ill.
I don't look ill.
You look like that.
I want all my necks to get in it.
Yeah, that fisheye lens ain't doing you any favors. Listen. Well, because our angles are different here, too, right? Bill's real close. You and I are a little further back.
I stopped wearing makeup already. One
Poundcake's
weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Did you notice?
Well,
I
it was
wore
one of the
makeup.
first comments on the live stream, so I was like, Mary, give up already? And
I wore
was like,
makeup all
yeah,
last
she
week.
did.
I wore
No,
makeup
I
yesterday.
thought you only wear makeup for when you have a show that night.
Usually, but when we came into the cameras, the new camera situation, and they're so much clearer, I wore makeup all last week. I wore makeup yesterday.
Why just do it for a week if you're not going to keep doing
Oh,
it?
because I quit.
Why?
I gave up. Because I don't.
You know, it's that kind
tired
of
watching-
perseverance that I think is really going to pay off in the end.
Just when you get here,
Well, that means Bill and I have to start
Just-
wearing makeup.
just go to the makeup department and get your makeup done. That's what we do.
Whatever, dude.
You know makeup abhors a vacuum, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to start wearing guy liner again.
Do it. I
And
love
I
guy
swore
liner.
I never would.
It's my
Again.
favorite.
Yeah, well, why don't you wear it?
I feel like I could
'Cause I'm a
ruin.
girl.
I feel like I could ruin guy liner for you.
Please don't wear it. I'd be so upset.
Please don't wear it. Please. You know, this has been a wild week for fans of Cleveland sports. You know, some big names you got to go back a ways. But a big week for people to pass away associated with Cleveland sports. You know, when Dick from Dayton called yesterday, he mentioned Jim Mueller died. Jim Mueller was the radio voice of the Browns for a long, long time. He was on television. He was on radio. He was 79 years old. You know, anytime they do a write-up on these guys, they have to use the photos. They have to use their old headshots because these were their professional photos, and that's how people remember them when they were in their heyday. Jim Mueller was a sports director over at Channel 3 in the mid-'80s. He was Jim Donovan, I think, took over for him, and he's been there ever since. But you have people's headshots from the 80s. You'll know what they look like at the very end. But he played college ball, and he was, whatever. And then I heard Stansbury talking about how Len Dawson died. And even if you're not familiar with his CV, that's a name a lot of people know. Like Len Dawson, they go, oh, he played for the Browns. He played for the Browns like half a season in the late 50s, for Christ's sake. I mean, the guy wasn't, he played with Jim Brown and those guys, I think. You got to go way back for the Chiefs, Len Dawson. Right? Yeah, he's primarily known for the Chiefs. But I associated his name with the beginning of NFL films. Or Inside the NFL.
Man, I love NFL films. Those are so good.
John Facenda. John Facenda and Len Dawson are the two names I think of. Inside the NFL was, I don't know if it was one of the first shows that HBO did that was like original programming. But that show in the early days of Inside the NFL was Len Dawson. He's a local guy. He's from Alliance. He played for the Browns and the Steelers. Like in the early 60s, a long time ago. He won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. If you know your Browns history going that far back, he was the backup for Milt Plum, who was the Browns QB at the time. And he was a big deal at the time.
That's why they say Cleveland's a plum.
Milton Plum.
Because of old Milty.
Browns QB Milt Plum. Who, by the way,
Milt Mary, you trying to correct my sports knowledge over here?
You
What's
are
the
Mr.
matter?
Sports. I heard. I'm not correct.
Never heard of old Milty?
I have not heard of Milty.
Old Milty Plum.
Never heard of Milt Plum.
God, a Milty Plum sounds like something that like a bug infestation will do.
Yeah, like it's
like a farmer be like, we got the Milty Plums again.
Milt.
You got to make sure you spray them every day, or else they get milty.
Right.
You don't want them milty.
That guy had
firm. You want some firm plums.
Oh, Jesus. It's back to Mary getting home, taking the bra off.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many messages from women. They're like, I do the same thing.
Yes.
I let my jugs out, and I get it. I understand.
Yeah, why don't you do it here at the window, ladies?
Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
me?
let's do it.
You want me? I got my belly out. I ate pizza twice today.
Ladies,
you want to be the first one to smash against the window?
I showed Alan my butt on the first day. And we were out there getting that beard oil stuff, and I pointed to Alan, and I just pointed at my butt. He's like, all right, I get it.
Well, not your bare butt.
No,
Yeah.
in my jeans.
Well, you did
I was
that.
like, is he in my butt? Get
On
it?
my Instagram story last night, I had the Bill Squire show logos up. I'm like, hey, look, I got the, and then Mary gets up on the chair in the background. She's like, it's my butt.
See my butt?
Here it is.
Butts are funny.
I agree.
Butts are funny.
I wasn't mad about it. Butts are funny.
But
Especially when they do that.
But any of you ladies who want to press some top ham up against the
Get a little juggles
window.
out. I've been going crazy on my no diet. I'm starting back again with my sister Monday. We're going to start working out. I'm going to teach her how to do macros. So I had...
Oh, good for you.
I had pizza for both meals today so far.
Breakfast and lunch.
Yeah. And I stopped to get a fry after therapy. My French cries.
Oh, good for you.
Is there a discount for that? Like a therapy? You're just coming
I
from,
wish.
if there's not enough salt on our fries, just cry on them.
My therapist is right next to a McDonald's, though. And I always want...
That's probably by design.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably helps.
Premium rent over
How
there,
can you be
probably.
loving it if you're not loving you?
Oh. Who do you work for?
I'm
Don't
just
let Wendy's hear that.
that's about therapy. That's
Oh,
about
that's-
self-care.
okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Wendy's going on the offensive because of E. coli concerns. They're pulling all their lettuce.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not going to Wendy's for the lettuce.
I don't think anybody's going to be
You're
upset
not
about
going
that.
to Wendy's for the lettuce.
Well, but there are people who are like, I like all the fixins on my hamburger, but that's smart of them. They're like, nobody's going to grab these red pigtails and take us for a ride. We're removing the lettuce now. Toot sweet, if you will.
And McDonald's is like, listen, you're going to get diarrhea anyway.
Look, we don't even have lettuce in the building, if we're being honest. That stuff you thought, not lettuce.
Anywho.
But yeah, take your bra off.
Mary's French cries.
My little French craze.
Yeah. Well, when I put my daughter in the car, I take her to school in the morning. It's our little time. And when I put her in her seat this morning, she pointed to the floor and she goes, "Is that an old dirty French fry?" And it was like an old desiccated. And I go, "Yeah." I go, "As a matter of fact, that was my rap name in college."
Old dirty French fry.
And she goes,
Were you half rapping in French?
"Is that true?" I go, "No." Because we're always joking. My daughter is developing. Listen, kids can be funny. Kids can be randomly funny. She is developing a very specific sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Not she's just randomly saying funny things like a 6-year-old might. There's some thought going into them, and that's what makes me. We went to have a dinner a couple of weeks ago before Gwen and I went up to northern Michigan with our friends. We went to have dinner at a hibachi place. And so they're cooking the food or whatever. And we just had forks at our table and wanted chopsticks. So I asked the waitress for 3 pair of chopsticks, and she said, sure. And she brought them over. And my daughter grabs the chopsticks and looks at the place setting and says, "You have no purpose, fork." Just at the top of her lungs in the thing. And I go, okay, well, there's something's going on there.
That's
right.
funny.
That's good. And then we were watching some YouTube video about a veterinarian who was, it was a show called Vets Saving Pets. And the beauty of these shows is they can't save every pet. So they'll have kind of these jump cuts to where the vet just tells the camera that they can't save the pet.
And they're
but
just
then
washing their hands and going,
right.
another fire.
The voiceover just says, so Dr. Smith calls the people and tells them they can pick their pet up so that they can make her last days as comfortable as possible. And I said, they shouldn't have called this show, to my daughter, we're sitting there watching this. I said, they shouldn't have called this show Vets Saving Pets because they can't count on that every time. You should have called it Doctors with Shovels. And she's like, but what if they gave them all the pills they could to try to save them, but they didn't know what they were giving them? Just pills, pills, pills. My daughter goes, curse you unlabeled pill cabinets.
She's definitely your dog.
I go, there's something happening here.
Yeah.
There's something happening. But Old Dirty French Fry went completely over.
she had nothing.
Yeah,
Is that
she didn't
true?
care. Couldn't enjoy it.
My therapist has had to remind me on several occasions that children don't really start to develop a full sense of humor and understanding of sarcasm until about 8. He said 8, 9, 10 is when they really start to get funny and they start to like understand. They can be funny before that, but like they really start to get jokes and
and
tone.
know how to deliver it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's something we'll run into with my boyfriend's daughter is we'll say something sarcastic and she takes it seriously.
Are you guys sarcastic a lot around her? I think it's like the environment too. Like if you give them a steady diet of sarcasm, but they know there's no malice to it.
Yes.
That's when they'll start to glom on. And,
So it's like since I've moved in, honestly, over the last few months, she's gotten a lot better with sarcasm because I'll say things or my boyfriend will say things and she takes it so seriously that she'll start to cry. So like we heard sirens and my boyfriend does the typical dad joke. Oh, Blake, they're on their way to get you. You're going to jail, you know? Yeah. And she's like, why would I go to jail? Like it gets so upset. And we're like, no, honey.
she
that's
really
a
thinks
joke.
she's going to jail?
Well, I'm saying over the last few months, we're like, baby,
She's
you're
a
not
bad kid.
You're not going to jail. You didn't do anything to go to jail. We're just joking.
Should have got a permit for that lemonade stand.
She'll be like, please don't joke about that. Like that kind of stuff. Or like when she's misbehaving, and I think this is just from something that my parents did. I would
What
take
kind of
like,
misbehaving? Like running through the house with a pickle in her mouth?
yes, misbehaving.
Oh,
Like if we'll tell her to get off her tablet and she doesn't want to get off her tablet. I'll come up with the most obscure scenario I can think of. I'm like, well, if you don't get off your tablet, I'm going to take it up to the top of the building and I'm going to throw it off. And she'll be like, don't throw my tablet off a building.
Right.
And I'm like, there's no buildings around here. I'm kidding. I'm just
not
trying
going
to
to do that.
Right. But she is starting to get it and not quite give it back, but we'll start to say it and she'll look and get a smirk and be like, you're not really going to throw my tablet off a building. We're like, that's right.
There
We're
you
not. We're almost there.
You said no, if you do, you're gonna pay misbehaving.
Kicking and spitting and cussing out loud.
Running through the house with a pickle in my mouth.
Playing in the street, look at me outside waving.
Just two little kids out there misbehaving.
there misbehaving.
When you went to the restaurant and had chopsticks, did they give her the kids' versions, or can she use the? Does she know how to use?
They
the chopsticks?
started. I don't know if she can, but I noticed that recently because we've been there a couple times. They started giving them the little springy helper thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was.
Her and Gwen.
I was with.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, I went to get sushi with my girlfriend a few weeks ago, and she was having trouble with the chopsticks, and the waitress, who was probably like a 17-year-old Asian girl, just like walks over and just holds the pair,
The children's
the
one?
children's one, and she's like, "You want these?" And my girlfriend's like,
Yeah.
I don't. It's okay. But I was dying. I was like, "Yeah, give them to her. She stinks with chopsticks."
Yeah.
I will say my boyfriend's daughter got him good the other day. When you say they're funny and sometimes don't know it. So he's always comparing his car to other cars. So now she can notice a Subaru Forester. Like she knows the car. Because she's like, look, Dad, it's your same car, you know? And she said something about like, what if all the cars were the same? Like, and she's going on and she's having fun. And Brian, he said something along the lines of, he was like, well, whose car would be the best? And she was like, it wouldn't matter because it doesn't bother them. Because he's always comparing
It only
his
bothers
car.
you. Yeah.
And I lost it. I was laughing so hard. And he's just got this look on his face. I was like, dude, she got you.
They're
Like,
not in a
she-
competition with each other.
Right. They don't care, Dad. That's just something you do.
That's very funny. And was she even trying to be funny, or
I
she
don't
was
think so. She just spit the
being-
truth out.
Yeah, hit him with the truth bomb right there, and he's got to reassess his whole way of thinking.
It doesn't bother them. I was
Doesn't
like,
bother them.
oh, got him. Got his ass.
Alan, I can barely tolerate listening to you, let alone having to see you. You guys are all ugly. Maybe just wear bags over your heads.
Hell yeah.
Well, I ordered those for us. Those there's a company called Street Side Studio Radio Head Bags.
Mhm.
And they're at
that
Streetside
.com?
Studio Radioheadbags.com.
Okay,
That's
great.
right. And they're kind of DIY. They give you the materials, but you have to cut your own eye holes out
Oh, well, because different sizes.
of eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, not heads. One head size fits all. Different eye hole sizes, though. But they give you the dotted line concentric circles
Oh.
so you can really customize it. So to that person, be careful what you wish for
You just
because it's going to look like the strangers in here.
just do that
in about a
slow
week.
head turn.
That's right.
The tilt.
Yeah. Al, my friend, made a joke to his 3-year-old about some cupcakes having broccoli in them, and she lost her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Broccoli's delicious.
Not in
I
a
don't know what the
cupcake.
I've never had broccoli in a cupcake. It might be delicious. Have you ever had meatloaf cupcakes with broccoli in them? Delicious.
There's a cupcake store right here called Colossal Cupcakes. Walk in and say, do any of your flavors have broccoli?
Could I have one made with broccoli?
Oh, you make your cupcakes into milkshakes? Any broccoli milkshakes?
Right.
Ugh.
Because cupcake stores are always owned by somebody that also has like a vegan restaurant or something. So you know they're going to have random broccoli somewhere, if not
Well,
just
then
for
go
their
find
own.
out.
I'm
Go
going
find
to.
out.
Do
for
that
their
in the
own
break.
personal lunch.
And while you're out, run by CVS and get me a 40 because I'm going to wrestling after this, and I need to be drunk.
I'll give you I've got a, when we were in Jersey, I bought something from CVS that turned out to be wrong, and I went immediately back in. I was hammered. And the guy gave me a CVS card with my money
yeah.
credited on it. So I'll just give you that bill, and you can buy a 40 over there.
Thank you.
I got to take a break. If you want to send a text 35192, you can listen anywhere and leave messages on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show. On 100.7 WMMS. The Buzzard is back home.